Storytime is meant to adapt the stories, mostly, of great unadapted old and forgotten comics from the past. I combine voice acting with narration to abridge the work as much as possible without lessening its impact, and to bring the stories to life the best way I can. Please enjoy. Hi, I'm Nick, and welcome to the Fusion Space for today's episode of Storytime, Superman Doomsday, Hunter Prey. Early in 1993's reign of the Superman, following the death of Superman, one of the four Supermen who appeared in Metropolis, the Cyborg Superman, made a big impression on me, as well as many other fans, as the possible real Superman by doing what we thought the first thing a return-to-life Superman would do. He got rid of Doomsday's body. The Cyborg stormed into Project Cadmus and took the monster's corpse from the genetics lab by force, unwilling to let them attempt to use his genes in their cloning experiment, and unwilling to chance that he might return to life as well. The Cyborg Superman flew Doomsday's body into space and secured him to an asteroid with metal cables, then calculated a path through the stars where he'd float forever, never intersecting with any planet or moon. And while the end of that issue did reveal that Doomsday had in fact returned to life, he remained tied to the rock and disappeared from notice for the rest of the long storyline. Until roughly a year later, and this 3-issue prestige format miniseries, prestige format being the term of the time for softcover books with titles printed on the spine. Dan Jurgens, who largely created Doomsday and helped write the Death and Reign storyline, took the reins of telling of Doomsday's return, and he also very often did the art layouts as well, leaving only the finished pencils to be done by another artist, Brett Breeding in this case. Dan is my personal favorite monthly Superman writer, for too many reasons to list here, but I think this tale shows off a lot of his talents. He's also the creator of Booster Gold, one of my lesser-known favorites, who will make his own appearance on this show in time. He also co-created Waverider and the Linear Men, and Waverider in particular will be very important in today's story. Speaking of which, a summary. Superman, compelled by a recurring nightmare of Doomsday and his own death, resolves to go into space to find the creature, and to make sure he won't pose a threat again. He's a bit late, however, as by the time he begins his search, Doomsday has already found his way to Apokolips, and even Darkseid and his legions of minions seem unable to contain him. With a bit of help from Waverider and a mother box, Superman will find the creature and learn his origin to prepare him for the rematch of a lifetime. Along the way, he'll also have to contend with the Cyborg Superman, who has used Doomsday as an escape hatch and transferred his consciousness to a device he placed on the creature following his defeat and destruction at Superman's hands in Engine City, and who plans to take over Apokolips after Doomsday is done with it. As if Darkseid and the Cyborg weren't enough, after they're dealt with, Superman still has to fight the battle of a lifetime and stop the monster for good, because he might very well be the only person in the universe who can. Let's begin. I'm afraid. I'm just a kid, and I'm absolutely terrified. Scared stiff. Something is down there, in the dark, in the cellar. I can't see it, can't hear it either, but I know it's down there, waiting for me. I run from the stairs, feeling guilty as sin. Ma asked me to go get her something, and I let her down. Seems like I'm always letting someone down. Soon as she sees me, she gives me that look, that sign, the one that speaks volumes. Ma knows I'm afraid. The whole world knows. Makes me feel about 2 inches tall. But Ma's special. A warm hug and some kind words bolster my sagging courage. I promise to go into the cellar and bring up that ironing board she asked for. I want to earn my allowance. I want to do what's right. My knees shake all the way down the stairs. The monster is here, but I still can't see him. Too dark. My hand is shaking too. It's hard to find the light switch. I'm just a kid, but when the light comes on, I finally hear it. I'm not a kid anymore. And then, I see it. The thing in the dark. The monster. The killer. Doomsday! We're in Metropolis, fighting again. The killer's fast. Lightning fast. And in the fury of it all, I can't fight back. I'm too afraid. Too afraid of what's to come. The pain. The hurt. The death. The monster killer has already gotten the others. Deep down I know he'll get me too. I'm a kid again, and I can't fight back. The fear has me all locked up. As the killing blow storms toward my face, I do the same thing I always do. I wake up. Every night the same thing, the same dream, over and over again, repeating endlessly. This has never happened to me before. Then again, nothing had ever killed me before either. Doomsday. Am I really afraid of him? Me! I shouldn't be afraid of anything. But those dreams. I know the cyborg took Doomsday's body from cabinets and tossed it into space. Why? What possible motive could he have had? Is there some deeper connection between the two? What's happening? Out there. In deep space, a cargo freighter comes across what might be valuable ore in a floating asteroid. I hope you ran that sensor scan. No sense dragging that godforsaken rock in here if it isn't clean. It's clean. No sign of organic life or bacteria. Okay then, you get to sign off on it. If anybody gets sick from this, I ain't gonna be responsible. Just extend the atmosphere and get it in here. We're missing bar hour, and I don't intend to get to Apokolips sober. I hate Apokolips. A tractor beam draws the asteroid into the cargo bay. It sure doesn't look like anything special. I think the captain's got a loser. Not so fast. Looks like there's something on the other side of... On the other side of the rock is Doomsday's body, still tied to the rock by metal cables. Great gods almighty! Do you know what that is? It can't be! I'm not taking any chances. I'm reversing the tractor beam and moving it out of here, whether it's dead or not. Move it, will you? That thing gives me the creeps. I'm working as fast as I can. Doomsday wakes up. Bleh. Oh no, it's alive! The impact of my blaster will kick his butt back out into space. The crewman fires a laser into the rock, knocking it through the cargo bay door. Choo! Doomsday grabs the edge of the door frame, snapping the cables. Bleh. It's hanging on! Blow the atmosphere! The vacuum will pull him away from the ship! If I do that, we go too! Do it, or the whole ship is done for! He whips the cable through a man's torso, tearing his body in half. Ah! The other crewman fires at Doomsday as he leaps free of the asteroid and into the ship. But it's a lost cause. No, no, no! Please, not me! Not me! Years ago, before I found Lois, I was convinced I'd never find anyone to be with. I wondered how anyone could ever relate to me. When someone tried to get close, like Lana, I'd keep them at arm's length. My talents, my powers, made me different. But all of that was before I found Lois. Knocking on my window? That usually means... Superman enters through Lois's window. Clark, it's 3 a.m. What is it? What's wrong? The dreams, Lois. I just can't shake them. Those dreams about Doomsday. It's like they're telling me something. Pushing me. Pushing you where? Clark, you can't be thinking... I have to find him, Lois. I have to find Doomsday. No! We know his body's floating out in space somewhere. Leave him there. Besides, you came back from the dead. Has it ever occurred to you that Doomsday could still be alive? The freighter automatically makes port on Apokolips. Because it has a history of bringing lucrative slaves to Apokolips, Darkseid himself wants it investigated. Due to its lack of communication, it is greeted by the spaceport crew. Ah! Listen to the baby scream. Must be a grisly sight in there. We shouldn't have eaten lunch before we came. We better... However, the first man to enter leaves again very quickly, only without the use of his body, as his decapitated head sails over the other crew. Doomsday bursts from the spaceship in rage, slaughtering everyone in his path. Look out! Some kind of monster! Have you seen that thing raising hell on the landing pad? I recognize it. That's more than just a thing down there. We must alert the Sovereign Palace at once. Our Lord and Master, Great Darkseid, must be informed that the Armageddon creature is on Apokolips. Hours later, Lois is still troubled. She doesn't understand why I have to leave. How can I expect her to, when I barely understand myself? But Doomsday is dead. Isn't it kind of morbid to go after his body? Lois, we don't know what Doomsday is or where he came from. He might be unique, or there might be millions more like him. Remember, too, that a dead body can be plenty dangerous. Long ago on Krypton, scientists became obsessed with genetic engineering. Here on Earth, men who don't understand what forces they're dealing with are trying to recreate life, bring back the dead. Are you saying someone might find Doomsday and try to make him live again? Or even try building an army of Doomsdays. That's what I mean when I say even his body is dangerous. But how will you find him? Space is so vast. It will be tough. The Justice League might be of some assistance.
I don't want you to do this.
Lois.
I spent weeks thinking you were gone, that I'd never see you again. Something about all this makes me feel so creepy.
I'll be back, I promise.
Don't make promises you can't keep, Clark. Don't lie to me.
Never. Clark kisses Lois goodbye. I hate myself for torturing her this way. It's not fair to her. It's not fair to us. But I have to stop the dreams. I have to face the fear. Doomsday hurls Apokoliptian troops like toys as he tears down their buildings, causing unimaginable destruction in the cramped and crowded architecture of Darkseid's domain. Our most powerful guns have no effect.
He's as strong as the legends say, but this exo-armor can stop anything.
Aha! The exo troop's head is impaled on Doomsday's fist. Excellent. This behemoth is beyond injury. He is the perfect carrier, the ideal protector. I always knew I might need a place to hide, a place that could be considered the safest in the universe. It was a simple matter to transmit my intelligence into this receptacle, but now... A small device on Doomsday's back springs to life. It is time to leave. You did your job well, Doomsday. An energy moves from the device into the exotrooper stuck on Doomsday's fist. Even when I chained you to that asteroid and hurled you into the depths of space, I knew you would one day escape to find us a planet to ravage. I never expected it to be Apokolips. Nor did I ever expect to find technology as perfect as this exo-armor so soon. He continues his rampage as the body floats in the air and begins to glow. The armor and tissue matter mixed with my intelligence, powers, and knowledge of Kryptonian genetics means that life is mine again. The dreaded Cyborg is alive and well. When the insufferable Superman destroyed Hank Henshaw, my previous body, he could never have known my mind would find refuge elsewhere. And even he couldn't have guessed it would be on Doomsday's back. And now, beware, Apokolips. After Doomsday softens you up, I'll be more than ready to finish the job. The cyborg destroys buildings along with Doomsday, who takes no notice of him.
Great Darkseid, the monster has been joined by another. I beg you to call for help before Apokolips is naught but a smoldering ruin. Surely Legion or the Darkstars can be of assistance.
Be silent, Desaad. All the hells of the universe will be long frozen over before I let the cosmos believe us so weak. You know the legends as well as I. The monster cannot be killed. They say, however, that was not so on Earth. Superman flies down to the small suburban home of Matt Ryder, currently a child, in an attempt to draw out the Linear Men. Matt Ryder and Waverider soon appear, the adult Matt clearly remembering this night and his childhood wonder that someone like Superman should come to his house. The Linear Men remain invisible to everyone but Superman as he demands they reveal to him everything they know about Doomsday. As usual, they deny him, citing the preservation of time's natural flow as their highest responsibility.
I can't believe it. Superman, what are you doing here?
Great. We've been caught by your father, Ryder. You've been caught. He can't see Waverider or me.
Is something wrong?
You guys are a real pain. Do me a favor and stay out of my way from now on. Be cautious, Superman. I have learned from my past mistakes. Your rash actions could well lead to the Apokolips. Nothing wrong, Mr. Ryder. Just teach your son to do what's right, while you still have time.
What the heck is that supposed to mean?
Superman flies away. I don't answer. I've said too much to the man already. But the kid at the window will grow up to be the leader of this group of self-aggrandizing men who are numb to the tragic realities they allow to continue, unless somebody makes a better impression on him soon.
Great Darkseid, is it wise for you to mix with the trash like this?
We are faced with a most unique situation, Desaad. I must study it firsthand. These worms flee the wrath of the creature, but they are my worms, Desaad, and must be protected.
Shall we obliterate this entire sector to kill the monster, my liege?
It is already destroyed. Our weapons will have no effect on the creature. If Apokolips is to be saved, I will have to take a more active role. I have yet to encounter the being who can withstand the unsurpassed force of my Omega Beam. Darkseid's Omega Beams arc across the environment and strike Doomsday in the back. He is blasted forward with great force, smashing into a building and collapsing it on himself. Your existence has been whispered about in fearful tones for years, creature. The only beings who do not tremble upon hearing of you are those who do not know of your power. And I, the one who can equal it. Die, creature. My Omega beams burn hotter than the fiery pits of Apokolips itself. Let your lifeless body rest deep under this melted coating for eternity. Let the universe know that you died once and for all. His second blast obliterates the mound of rubble. At the feet of Darkseid. Doomsday punches free of the ashes. He rises and charges at Darkseid. Impossible. Doomsday slashes Darkseid's back with his clawed knuckles, drawing great gouts of blood. He slams Darkseid into a wall, crumbling it. No one has ever survived the Omega beams. From point-blank range. Doomsday stabs his knee spike into Darkseid's chin, interrupting his blast. Bah! The legends are true. You are beyond death. Superman seeks out the Justice League for help finding Doomsday's asteroid, but before anyone can answer him, Darkseid appears on the monitor. Panicked by Darkseid's fall before the creature, he asks to contact New Genesis for aid, because Mr. Miracle and Lightray were once League members. But they can't help him either.
Apokolips is in dire need of their aid, human. Tell me where I can find them all.
Hey, I wonder, did Waverider mean Apokolips? Or Apokolips as a clue? Darkseid, give me the details on this problem you have. It's probably a coincidence.
No, I cannot. Darkseid out.
Pretty evasive. This can't be a simple coincidence. Tell me how to get to Apokolips from here.
If you think Apokolips is somehow connected to Doomsday, then I shall take you there. I battled that infernal creature too, Superman. I'd relish the opportunity to find those who helped create him.
Doomsday? Created on Apokolips? Something I never considered. But there is a slight resemblance to Darkseid. No thanks, Maxima. This is something that I have to handle on my own. I can travel in space these days. All I need is a map or a star chart that shows me how to get to Apokolips. Doomsday drags Darkseid's unconscious body through the smashed streets of his fortress homeworld as the cyborg flies alongside him. During their time together on the asteroid, he must have found some way to make an ally of the creature.
Incredible, my friend. You have defeated Darkseid himself. With him down, Apokolips is ripe to be taken. The royal palace lies ahead. Once I've taken that, I can control this planet's communications and technological networks.
The cyborg blasts a hole in Darkseid's royal palace as Doomsday follows him.
In a matter of hours, this ball of flame and sludge will be mine. War World will live again.
No. I had asked Oberon for a star map to guide me to Apokolips, a place I now know is uncharted. But he used his connections with Mr. Miracle and New Genesis to get me something better. No way I'll get lost now. He called it, a mother box, a living computer. She even teleported me here, perhaps the only way to get here, through one of those boom tubes. Apokolips, the most godforsaken planet the universe has ever known. Bing, bing. Guess Mother Box really is alive. She feels as uncomfortable as I do. Superman flies down to the planet's surface. Apokolips doesn't look any more inviting than my last visit. Looks like a war zone. Even Darkseid's palace is in flames. Better go inside, have a look around. He finds the cyborg in the process of destroying Darkseid's palace guards.
Well, well, well. I hardly expected you, old friend.
You! Hank Henshaw!
I relinquished my human identity long ago, Superman. I believe Earth's press referred to me as the Cyborg. I suggest you do the same.
I don't know how you got here or what you're up to, but I'm taking you down.
You don't know how I got here? Oh, this is quite an opportunity. You obviously don't know who my partner is.
If you're working with Darkseid...
Darkseid? He is my enemy. I shall use my powers to repair this view screen. Observe, Superman. This really ought to make your day.
It hits me like a nuclear blast. Emotions flooding through me. Horror, terror, madness, memories of the pain, the death. Doomsday? Alive?
I thought you knew. I thought that's why you were here. No matter. You're my kill.
The cyborg blasts Superman with an energy cannon. Oh! Have to get up. Must find Doomsday. Stop him once and for all.
The fools are ignoring me. This is my only chance to do what's necessary. You'll do no such thing. Doomsday is my instrument of war. My hammer against Apokolips. His controls are barely functional. But in a few moments, Apokolips will finally be saved.
Darkseid throws a switch. You've opened up a boom tube. You know you can't beat him, so you're sending him away.
Exactly.
The tube appears behind Doomsday. Coward! He has to be stopped! Superman flies out the window at top speed. Have to move faster than I've ever moved before. I failed to stop him once. Can't let him get away again. He is mere feet away from the creature.
Roar.
He's fading. I'm too late. Too late. When the portal closes, Superman grasps only empty air. Should have been faster. Did I hold back? When I saw Doomsday alive, I felt the fear. Did part of me want him to escape? No, that can't be true. I wanted to nail him here, on Apokolips. Now he's gone. But where? And what if he's on Earth? Vanishing point. Here there is no future, no past, no now. We exist outside the time stream, able to look into any moment through windows that access the ages. Time is our subject of study, its orderly flow our mandate. We are guardians of sorts, ensuring that time's passage shall never be disrupted. But I find myself wondering if I must now become time's disruptor. I watched once before as a ruthless monster murdered one of the greatest beings produced in any age. They called the monster Doomsday, the victim, Superman. The hero eventually journeyed the dark path from death to light, a feat never to be accomplished again. But Superman and Doomsday are about to meet once more, and my conscience gnaws at me to get involved, though my linear oath says otherwise. I'm torn. Remain here, or go to Apokolips. I've never seen anything like it. Flames and toxic clouds hang in the air with a smell even Apokolips must find offensive. Bodies litter the rubble like discarded confetti after a parade. No matter what direction I look in, or how far, all I see is death. And it's all because of Doomsday. Kryptonian. Doomsday? No, not Doomsday. Darkseid. You're hurt. I never thought it possible, but Doomsday hurt you bad. Darkseid collapses on his face. Whoa. If Darkseid is down, then I'm the only one left to stop the cyborg. The cyborg connects to Apokolips' computer network and takes control of the planet's defense systems. He sends an ultrasonic squeal through the communication systems of the attacking parademons and melts their brains to jelly as their heads burst into flame. Superman carries the wounded Darkseid to relative safety inside a large metal cylinder. I think he's alive, but I'm not sure. I can barely hear something similar to an irregular heartbeat, but with a creature like Darkseid, who knows? It was tempting to leave him in the rubble, let someone else take care of him. But I couldn't. Couldn't leave knowing he might die. He needs shelter, a chance to live, even though I have no idea of how to help him. Wait, I feel a presence, like there's somebody else here. Must be my imagination. That or Mother Box. She's kind of the ultimate living computer. Maybe she can tell me something. Bing! Bing! It's working. I can feel her message. Darkseid's dying. What now? If I let Darkseid die, no one would hold it against me. He's a universal terrorist, times 10. Besides, I'm not a doctor. What do I know about saving an alien life form? Plenty. I know that Mother Box can help heal him. I also know I have no choice. Superman places the Mother Box on Darkseid's chest. Next thing you know, we'll be saving Attila the Hun. Good luck, Darkseid. You're gonna owe me after this. A cyborg is still out there, looking to turn Apokolips into his own private, hellish playground. Darkseid deserves it. His people don't. Do I attack him alone or go back to Earth for help? If there were more time. There's never enough time. It's man's most precious commodity. Waverider arrives on Apokolips. Waverider! The time has come for us to meet again. It is a fate we cannot escape. Look, you gave me the tip to come to Apokolips, and I appreciate that. But unless you're here to help this time, leave. You are well aware of my vows of non-interference. Listen, Waverider, I've heard it all from you before. No matter how big the disaster, no matter how many lives are at stake, you refuse to get involved. Well, I need you to put it on the line and get to work, or get out of my way. What's it going to be? Your frustration is understandable. I am fully aware of what's at stake here. Not just Doomsday himself, but if he goes unstopped, it'll be Doomsday for millions. But I must weigh my degree of involvement carefully. As a linear man, I am pledged to observe. Though in my human life, I was the opposite, an activist. The part of me that is Matthew Ryder wants desperately to help. Then do it! You literally have access to the greatest secrets of all time. If you have any information that can help me beat that monster, give it to me. As you wish. I touch the Kryptonian, and my secrets become his. Superman closes his eyes as Waverider's visions fill his mind. Time, all her precious secrets and nuances, her infinite complexities and hidden shadows, are ours for the taking. We drift back, a distant planet, almost 250,000 years ago. An environment so hostile that it seems incapable of supporting any manner of life. This area of the planet has winds so ferocious, temperatures so incredibly hot, that only the mightiest structure, reinforced in every manner possible, could possibly stand. In a barren, rocky landscape stands a domed laboratory. Outside, the structure is cold and formidable. Inside beats a heart equally as cold, and 1,000 times as evil. Your progress? We'll be ready soon. The subject is fully prepared. Shall I awaken him? Not yet. We must not rush a venture this crucial. I still feel uneasy about this, Bertrand. If we succeed, we will have created the ultimate form of life. We shall be gods. Gods need not concern themselves with ambiguous notions of morality. They're here again, pounding on the exterior walls. Naturally, the inhabitants of this world's sector are the most lethal creatures known to exist in the universe. Their poisons bring instant death. Their strength, speed, and ferociousness are unparalleled. Those savage qualities shall help us create their superiors. Right now, we must use our defenses to move them away. A wave of energy repels the creatures. The perimeter is secure. The time has come. Let us begin. This infant, not native to this world of yours, represents immortality. Bertrand addresses an infant child in a pod. You are nothing special now, child, but you will one day become perfection embodied. Your time is at hand.
Bertrand, are you sure this will work? The science of genetics is still such a mystery to us. Not to him, though. He's taught us so much since he arrived here. It's an honor to learn from him.
No, the true honor is to create life. The ultimate being at that. Bertrand carries the infant in a pod and loads it into a hatch. Beep, beep, beep. This opening chapter, so terrible to you now, infant, will one day provide a most desirable conclusion. The pod is fired into the environment. Status?
The creatures have already spotted the infant. They're charging.
It's horrible. Look what they're doing to that baby.
Life signs are gone. He died in less than 2 seconds. They're ripping him to shreds.
Shock the creatures away and send out a retriever. We must recover some tissue in order to proceed. A man goes out in a protective suit with a collection device. Any sign of the beasts?
Fortunately, no, Bertrand. And you guys better make sure they stay away, too. Those savages did a number on that baby. I'll be lucky to find a shred of evidence. Wait, something on that rock. Got it. Get the genetopod ready. We'll be growing us a brand new infant.
The pod is fired into the environment. This clone was grown from the previous infant's tissue. Now we have truly begun.
The beasts have killed this one as well. Shall we proceed?
Of course. Send out the retriever. We must begin the cloning process again. 10 years later, the scene continues to play itself out. Each day a new infant is cloned from the preceding one, and subsequently cast outside to die. If the indigenous creatures did not tear the baby to shreds, the planet's searing atmosphere burned his lungs out. Over and over again the tests were performed. Measured on a small scale, it seemed no progress was made, but in 10 years' time the subject, their baby, nudged along by the scientist's engineering, was evolving. After 20 years, the baby was substantially altered. He was mastering life's need to survive. The infant has come to resemble, for lack of a better term, a baby Doomsday. At first, the atmosphere and beasts killed him in seconds. That was eventually stretched to minutes. 2 million years of evolution had been achieved in 30 years of work.
I can't stand all this killing. Good gods, what if poor babies?
Silence, please. Status. Status now.
Baby has been outside for several hours. For the first time, he seems capable of surviving the atmosphere indefinitely. We have conquered the environment. Uh-oh, he had managed to evade the beasts, but they've just locked onto him. He won't last long.
All part of growing up.
Contact, Bertrand. They've found him.
The large spiky creatures surround the child and pounce upon him.
Baby is fighting back. He's going to die, but those enhancements he's evolved are working.
We have turned the corner. When he has expired, collect the necessary samples. We shall begin again.
The grand experiment continued. Time passed. As some of the scientists died, others were brought in as replacements. Through it all, Bertrand was obsessed by his vision of the perfect being. This being would use the principal rule of nature, evolution, to defy nature's call for death. Bertrand's dream was almost complete. Baby was no longer.
The infant's pod is now much larger, and bone spikes sprout from its skin.
Bertrand now called him the Ultimate. It was a most appropriate name. This time the Ultimate had survived outside the lab for almost 2 full years. We have him on screen, Bertrand. He's returning. Sensors show no traces of beasts anywhere on the planet. As part of his mission to live, he's hunted them to extinction.
The Ultimate has at long last defeated death. He is immortal. He does not breathe or eat. He has no internal organs and minimal fluids. He is almost solid throughout, nourished by solar energy that he can store for a millennium if necessary. He can survive any environment, destroy any creature. Should the Ultimate somehow find any creature stronger than he, and actually be killed, he will come back to life, evolved into a superior being. He is beautiful.
The child has become the creature we know as Doomsday.
One question, Bertrand. We've only dealt with him when he was dead. Now that he's alive, what do we do? Bring him inside?
The Ultimate returns to the domed laboratory that birthed him.
I had not expected him to make permanent survival status this soon. I don't know what to do. Run a complete sensor scan on the Ultimate. A chemical study may reveal his intentions.
We know that he will sense, search out, and destroy those he considers hostile.
Naturally, above all, he's programmed to live. That means he must kill all that he might consider a threat.
Well, he must consider us threatening. His chemical reactions indicate he's ready to attack, and the only thing he can sense is us.
He punches the wall.
But why would he consider us hostile? Unless he remembers what we did to him? Good God!
He knows we killed him thousands upon thousands of times.
The creature crashes through the wall with ease.
Somehow his events of the past have gone beyond memory and become part of his genetic makeup.
No, you can't do this to us. We made you better. Don't you see? No one can equal you. My genius built you, created you. You cannot kill your father.
But he can. And he does. Following the destruction of the complex and the man who created him, Doomsday hitches a ride off-planet on a pre-arranged supply ship. The planet's natives found Bertrand's genetic research eventually and used it for their own ends, to the point that genetic experimentation became crucial to their survival, and in time, it would doom them as well. Doomsday thus bounced from planet to planet, earning a reputation due to the death and destruction that followed everywhere he appeared. Eventually he found his way to Calaton, a highly advanced world that was nonetheless helpless to halt Doomsday's rampage. After 3 years of constant attack, only the capital city remained. Only the metahuman power of the royal family, concentrated across centuries, could offer them one last, desperate hope.
The containment vessel is fully prepared? Yes, my liege, but the testing process is not yet fulfilled.
We haven't the time for tests. Initiate the process immediately. This Ravager of worlds must die.
All members of the king's families were gathered up at his command. Their metahuman life forces were drained, their lives willingly given to a greater good. The royal scientists, grieving as they watched their rulers make such noble sacrifices, channeled the energies into their creation. The Radiant, a being of pure energy, was born. An artificial, engineered life form created to destroy an artificial, engineered life form. The battle lasted over a week. Bertrand had created a creature that could kill any known form of life, but not energy. The Radiant proved stronger and prevailed over Doomsday in a final blast of pure energy that laid waste a fifth of Calaton. Had the Calatonians destroyed Doomsday's body, his story might have ended there. But they followed their usual custom of burial. Doomsday was suited and chained so his spirit would not escape in the afterlife. As a murderer, he was deemed unworthy of burial on sacred Calaton. His body was cast into the coldness of space where it would drift forever. But the astral hearse became entangled amidst an asteroid flow, and eventually crashed on Earth, its impact carrying it deep underground. But that happened hundreds of thousands of years ago. He was dead. How did he come back? He cannot die. His body regenerates itself and comes back stronger than before. He is unkillable.
So say the legends. Darkseid has recovered and returns the mother box to Superman. You recovered in a hurry. I guess mother box really can work wonders. As I expect you to do, Superman. You are responsible for the cyborg's presence here, and I expect you to deal with him. Get him off Apokolips. Now. And trade one evil for another? I should leave him here and let you fight it out. But innocence would pay the price, and I can't let that happen.
The cyborg next attacks the people of Apokolips, targeting missiles to destroy the food pens in order to starve them. Darkseid demands that Superman, as Earth representative, take care of the rogue Earth villain.
What about the food pens? The target. Destroy all the food on Apokolips in order to starve the maggot populace. How do you know for sure? It's what I would do. Doomsday will have to wait his turn. Today, the cyborg goes down.
Superman charges into action.
This really burns me. Darkseid is hardly an ally of mine, and all of a sudden I'm trying to save his rule. But even a pit like Apokolips has its innocent side. Its human side. They live like dogs, slaves who keep Apokolips' weapons foundries working day and night. Darkseid gives them barely enough to survive, making them scratch and claw for food, goods, and services. He's taken all the joy from their lives. Adults are spiritless, knowing only despair and misery. The young know only hunger and war. But if it's a choice between the cyborg and Darkseid, Darkseid wins, hands down. These missiles have to be stopped. The innocent mustn't suffer.
Superman intercepts the missiles and tries to deflect them.
Ugh, they're too big, moving too fast. I can slow them down, but I can't stop them before impact. Casing is too tough to punch through. Running out of time. Heat vision. Maybe I can burn them. Shh. No good. Built to withstand heat from re-entry. No chance. No time.
Twin beams of pink energy streak past Superman towards the missiles.
Omega beams? Darkseid's Omega beams. Never seen anything like them. Instant vapor. Darkseid probably doesn't need my help, but I'm heading for the palace anyway. The cyborg is my problem. I would ask you how this will conclude, Time Rider, but I doubt you would tell me. True. No matter. I already know, for only one conclusion is possible.
Darkseid fires his Omega beams again. Superman crashes through the wall of Henshaw's control room.
Henshaw! There'll be no more coast cities while I'm alive.
Watch me.
The Omega beams angle around corners and into the building.
You couldn't prevent it before, and you won't now. Nothing will stop me from building another war world.
Wrong. Even you can't stand up to this.
Superman holds Henshaw up to the beams.
Are those...
The Omega Force rips into him like he was a puppet. Henshaw writhes in pain. I wasn't even the target, and my arms feel like they're on fire.
Energy fills the cyborg's body and bursts from his eyes and mouth.
If that was your best, you failed. I'm still alive. Still here.
Thought, for sure, that would do you in.
No one can beat me.
Superman hits the cyborg with a back fist.
I am tired of you.
Not as tired as I am of you. I'm your better in every way. Not only do I have your Kryptonian powers, your strength, and heat vision.
Henshaw responds with heat vision.
I can make myself better by assimilating this room's machinery.
The cyborg bulks up his form with machines, forming a huge robot body.
Maybe, but I'm better than before too. Stronger. And if you want to see heat vision, this is heat vision.
Superman blasts him out of the palace, destroying the wall behind him. The cyborg increases size again, becoming an enormous metal spider.
Whoa, he's rebuilt himself faster than I expected.
Of course, and I will keep doing so until you are finally dead. For good.
He fires huge energy cannons at Superman.
Yo!
Enough. The Kryptonian was useful while I recuperated. My powers are now at their peak. This farce must end.
Darkseid obliterates the cyborg's new body with a massive blast of his Omega beams.
He's gone. Just like that. You killed him. He was my enemy. His fate was preordained. When I beat him before, I knew his consciousness would survive. But this... You are far too soft, Kryptonian. Leave us now. Continue your hunt for the creature you call Doomsday, before I call you my enemy.
There are problems. I doubt Superman can defeat Doomsday.
I beat him once. I can do it again. Where is he, Darkseid? Where did you send him?
To the planet that handled him so well in the past. The creature is on Calaton. Let them deal with him.
That's awful. Calaton is the one planet that will never be able to defeat Doomsday again.
That doesn't make any sense.
Remember that Doomsday is able to evolve beyond any enemy. Calaton and their champion may have beaten him once, but he learned from that, and is now impervious to them.
Interesting. That can only mean that he's evolved beyond the Kryptonian as well. You have no chance against him, Superman.
That would seem to be accurate.
I don't care. I'll hunt him down, one way or another. This has to stop.
I'm just a kid, and I'm absolutely terrified. He's out there, in the dark, waiting for me, and I don't stand a chance.
It's now or never. I'm going after Doomsday, and I'll do whatever it takes to bring him down.
Do so, and you shall feel death's cold embrace once more, Kryptonian. This creature you call Doomsday is unbeatable.
Darkseid speaks the truth. Darkseid knows all.
Still your tongue, lest I cut it out, worm.
Darkseid might be right, Superman. It's possible Doomsday has evolved beyond your capacity to beat him.
Well, someone has to do the job, and all I see are people walking away. Darkseid and Darkseid retire to the ruins of the palace to rebuild. Superman and Waverider fly off in the other direction.
Come, Darkseid, there is much rebuilding to be done.
True. Once mighty Apokolips is vulnerable. Should an enemy attack?
Apokolips is not vulnerable. I have insurance.
Once outside the range of Superman's attention, Darkseid picks up a small golden ball from the dusty ground.
For in this small sphere rests the consciousness of the cyborg. Superman foolishly believes him dead, but my Omega beams actually placed his life force here, where I might one day summon him and control him if necessary.
While he's done for in this story, the cyborg has a long and bitter future ahead of him as a supervillain, and he will, without a doubt, return. Still, I shudder to think what punishments a being like Darkseid might be capable of inflicting on a prisoner in such a helpless state. Do you really think Doomsday is more powerful now than before?
In all probability.
Hard to imagine. He's far and away the toughest being I've ever come across. Doesn't leave me much of a chance.
Bing! Bing! Zing!
Motherbox? Haven't heard her react like that before.
Bing! Zing! Zing!
These living computers have a mind of their own. Motherbox envelops Superman in an energy field.
Superman, are you all right? I can barely see you. Tingling all over, like pins and needles. My clothes are being altered. The suit I'm wearing was originally Kryptonian recovery gear. Supergirl transformed it once. Now Motherbox is doing it again.
Bing! Bing!
Fantastic. Motherbox sensed the situation and has armed me for battle with Doomsday.
Superman now wears a dark blue and red costume with various weapons attached all over it with yellow straps and pouches. This was the height of badass in the 90s, and just personally, I think the design holds up pretty well even now. But I think I've also seen this costume lambasted in some worst costumes of the 90s list, so feel free to make up your own minds about it.
This might help to even up the odds. Hopefully I've caught up to Doomsday's next level of evolution.
Those weapons, seem incompatible with your nature.
Don't really feel too comfortable with it all myself.
Bling!
But at least I have some options now. Boom Tube is here. Probably a straight shot to Calaton.
Superman and Waverider enter the portal.
I'm coming along.
As long as you're going to help. Last thing I need. Someone following me just to watch me die again. From everything I've been told, Calaton was supposed to be one of the most beautiful planets ever civilized. But destruction doesn't recognize beauty. Civilization has never turned away savagery, and death is a constant everywhere. Especially when Doomsday is around. It was easy to imagine what was happening on Calaton. All I could do was hope that they could keep Doomsday in check until I got there.
Doomsday throws cars and people around amidst the destroyed golden spires of Calaton. The Radiant reappears to challenge the beast.
We fought thousands of years ago, monster. I defeated you then, and I'll defeat you now.
Bah!
We thought we'd never see you here again. My previous incarnation, created from the planet's royal family so long ago, had thought you disposed of forever. It is a mistake I'll not make this time.
The Radiant blasts Doomsday with energy beams.
We were fortunate that our scientists were able to transform the royals of this day and age in order to create me.
Doomsday grabs his leg.
Flew too close. I'll burn you. Escape easily. I remember well how you were beaten the first time. Full intensity energy.
He unleashes his full power on Doomsday in a huge energy blast.
Goodbye forever, monster.
The Radiant pours his power into the energy storm. From deep within the energy, a dark shape emerges. Doomsday has evolved past Radiant's ability to kill him, and he generates a negative energy charge to counteract the Radiant's attack.
Impossible. It worked before.
Doomsday slashes the Radiant's body in half.
He's altered my energy, canceling me out.
Before his negative energy fades.
Waverider showed me the past. How years ago an energy being called the Radiant managed to beat Doomsday. If he or his descendants are still around, they might do so again. But if Doomsday can really evolve to beat any opponent, Radiant might not stand a chance against the Doomsday of today.
The halves of the Radiant float to the ground as Doomsday resumes his rampage of destruction.
All those thoughts are running through my mind as Motherbox opens a Stargate and tubes us to Calaton. We have arrived. The destruction indicates Doomsday's presence as well.
Ping, ping.
Motherbox is going nuts, pulling me in this direction. No wonder. The Radiant.
Your fears of his defeat at the hands of Doomsday were well founded. He appears to be dying.
Motherbox healed Darkseid. Maybe she can do the same for him.
The Radiant is quickly fading into non-existence.
No. Too late. If you can, save my people.
The monster. Where is he?
He senses our vulnerabilities. All Calaton is powered by one central facility that taps directly into the planet's core. If he destroys that, the whole planet might...
He is gone. Doesn't leave much hope for me, does it? Doomsday and I came up even last time. If he is stronger, able to fight harder now, I won't be able to stop him from destroying that power facility, even with Motherbox's help.
Doomsday pounds on the huge stone monoliths containing the planet's energy stores.
That's enough. Bah!
Superman lands and confronts Doomsday.
This can't go on. You have to be stopped. Permanently. I don't know how intelligent you are. Maybe you're just a mindless, raging beast. If you remember me, you know I put you down before.
Huh? Metropolis.
You can talk?
Metropolis.
Ha! I expected him to attack, but he's turning away from me like I'm nothing.
He must know he can defeat you. Or perhaps you do not concern him.
Good. That will give me the first shot. Hit him hard, hit him fast. Burn!
Superman unleashes his heat vision on Doomsday.
When I fought Doomsday before, I made a big mistake. Too much hand-to-hand fighting. Too much brute force. Have to use my other abilities first. Soften him up. Stay in the air. Keep my distance. And turn up the heat until he drops.
Superman continues the heat vision assault in the air.
Doomsday reveals his intelligence again. He might not be able to fly.
As he burns, Doomsday pries a large rock from the ground and hurls it at Superman.
But that doesn't stop him from trying to take me out.
Superman smashes the boulder.
He managed to interrupt my heat vision. Bought himself some time. But as long as I stay up here, he won't be able to get me.
Doomsday aims his fist at the Man of Steel. His bony knuckles launch from his arm, trailing bony wires behind them. They punch through Superman's body.
Huh? What kind of move? Went right through my shoulder. Had no idea.
Doomsday yanks him down from the sky.
Head getting fuzzy. Poison? Makes sense. Have to move fast. Use the tools Motherbox gave me. Plug into my battery pack. You might be tough, pal, but I'm betting even you can't handle ultrasonics.
The creature withers under the sonic assault.
You're done. Give it up now, or your brain turns to jelly.
The bones in Doomsday's head shift to cover up his ear holes.
Amazing. His auditory canals simply closed up. He evolved, became impervious to my weapon. Even his knee bone that I kicked off in our first fight has grown back. He's retracting his claws, reeling me in. Can't let that happen. Have to pull these.
Superman pulls out the bone spikes.
Ugh! Out while I've got the chance.
Bing, bing, bing.
Motherbox is already treating my wound, but I'll have to make sure I keep my distance.
He flies out of Doomsday's path.
I've stood on the sidelines long enough. When I first became Waverider, I was a man of action, a man who fought for my beliefs. I have to become that man again.
Waverider steps in and touches Doomsday.
Information can win a battle. I must discover such information by using my energies to look into the monster's mind. For a time, we must become as one. His eyes must become my own. That trick of Waverider's, it's his way of looking into someone's future. Not the future or past, but the present. Perhaps I can accomplish what brute force cannot. An understanding of Doomsday's... Wait! What is it, Waverider? Neither of you is moving. It's like... I know Superman is speaking, yet Doomsday sees his creator, Bertrand. You're frozen! Now I know why Doomsday attacked Superman so ferociously on Earth. The truth is finally clear to me. Have to get out. Decide what to do next. Waverider, what did you find out? Doomsday sees you differently, not as humanoid, but as Bertrand. He wants to kill you because he needed to kill his greatest threat, Bertrand. Why? That doesn't make sense. I didn't have anything to do with his creation. Never had anything to do with genetic experiments. Unless... that planet you told me of, the place where Doomsday was engineered. You said it happened long ago, and the process stimulated the planet's interest in genetics. You told me when, but you never told me where. The name of the planet, Waverider, what was it? It was Krypton, wasn't it? Doomsday was born on Krypton. Yes. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Why do you always do this to me? I did not want to cause you further pain. I did not realize how important this matter was. A personal connection between you two seemed unlikely. Well, you were wrong. I always thought Doomsday just happened to march in the direction of Metropolis. But now it's possible he sensed my presence, because I'm Kryptonian. I became the first threat of his life, and the thing he wanted to kill the most.
Doomsday leaps at Superman.
Metropolis! No! One way or another, this ends today!
Superman hits Doomsday with a haymaker punch.
I tear into Doomsday with everything I've got. Inside me, the feelings of a scared little boy bubble to the surface. Unfortunately, confidence is everything in a situation like this.
Doomsday stops Superman's attack with a kick.
Doomsday took me to the edge the first time we met. Now he's even tougher.
And punches him off his feet.
I need to stay ahead of him. Keep using these weapons until I find something that works. If I stand still and try to bash it out with him, I'm a dead man.
Superman plugs in his energy-fueled sword.
According to Waverider's story, this monster is made of solid mass. No blood, no tissue, no vital organs. Still doesn't mean he can walk away from this.
He slashes the creature's side with a blazing blade.
He's wounded. Can't let up. Heat vision.
Doomsday roars as he pulls the blade free from his midsection.
Only phased him for a few seconds. The wound heals itself, and he's on top of me before I know it.
He hurls it away as he slams Superman into the ground. Doomsday pulls his arm back and he brings a huge fist down on Superman's elbow.
My arm! Didn't think anyone could break my arm. And then he makes it even worse.
He bends the arm backwards.
Compound fracture. Have to scramble away. Avoid going into shock.
Waverider tries an energy attack directly on Doomsday's nervous system.
If you have any manner of nervous system at all, I will penetrate it and shut you down.
Waverider is repelled by intense feedback, and his energy form wavers.
Feedback! Can't control my energies! Waverider's out of commission too. I want to fly, get away, but my head's spinning, almost unconscious. I hear Doomsday right behind me. Lois was right. Shouldn't have hunted him down, because I've become the prey.
Doomsday laughs in triumph as he hoists Superman over his head.
Lois.
He throws the Man of Steel into the huge stone energy storage units, piercing one shell. The entire power store explodes in a gigantic release of energy.
Superman! I witnessed his death once before, as a force equal to 1,000,000 nuclear blasts annihilates the area. I fear I have done so again. We have failed.
Waverider's body is dissipated by the blast. All is still and quiet as Superman lies on the now perfectly flat ground.
The sun feels good. Warm. No, not the sun. Heat from the blast. Can't move. Concussion. Always wondered how much I could take. I think I've found my limit. Have to get up. Get moving. Find out whether or not Doomsday is still alive.
Doomsday's hand smashes through the blasted land. He emerges from the ground.
Blast was so strong it wiped the ground smooth as glass. And this monster still survived? Left arm is useless, so I put everything I've got into a right uppercut. Just need to buy enough time to get away. Need to recover, or I'm done for. I figure maybe Waverider can help me buy that time, until I see his wristband lying on the ground.
Grabbing the wristband, Superman flies away.
He's laughing at me, thinking I've run away for good. But this time, I've got to be smart. Can't win head on. Have to outsmart him, or I'll wind up dead again. Like Waverider.
The remaining elders of Caladan watch the battle with bated breath to see if their planet will survive or not.
All power stations have been destroyed. An entire region powerless. Lucky so far, but he's headed for our atmospheric plant. If he destroys that, our carefully balanced ecosystem will crash. All life will perish. If only the stranger hadn't flown off in fear.
Run? In fear? Not quite. Superman flies at top speed. More like getting a 5-mile maximum speed head of steam built up. So I can put Doomsday down for good. He shoves Doomsday, carrying him along.
Have to keep pushing. Take him as far as I can.
Use speed, so he never knows what hit him.
Superman slams the beast into a building, crumbling the wall. His arm now in a sling, he kicks Doomsday and dashes in close.
Bah! You might have been able to take anything thrown at you so far, but I'm willing to bet you can't handle something new. People use this gizmo to travel through time. Don't know how to work it myself.
Superman puts Waverider's wristband on Doomsday's shoulder spike.
But I've got someone who does. Let's go, Motherbox, now!
Bing, bing.
Even though I've been through this with Waverider before, I'm still disoriented. Everything is upside down and inside out as we're swept into the time stream. Motherbox, using Waverider's device, is taking us to a place where Doomsday can be beat. I doubt I'll return from this voyage. Our destination is probably a pretty nasty place.
Superman and Doomsday are momentarily stretched into two-dimensional ribbons as they arrive.
Where? Doesn't feel like space exactly, but the gravity, opposing forces, feels like it's tearing us apart.
Before Waverider arrives and restores time's three-dimensional shape, working overtime to keep physics itself at bay for a brief moment.
Hold on, Superman! Waverider, you're alive! It took me some time to pull my energy form together. We cannot waste our efforts talking. This place is lethal. I can balance the buffeting for only a few seconds more, but death is never far off here. I need this to get you out of here.
He retrieves his wristband.
What about Doomsday? This is his end.
Waverider and Superman escape through time.
For this place is the end of time. There, entropy awaits like a ravenous beast where it drains all energy and life. In this far distant future, the universe is dying, crushed by this entropy. It is the only time, the only place known where life cannot possibly exist. As the universe dies and time comes to an end, Doomsday and his violent, killing rage shall come to a mercifully final end as well.
Doomsday is finally consumed by entropy at the end of time, disintegrating into nothing. Waverider returns Superman to Earth.
Look, I wanted him stopped. But was it necessary to kill him? It was. As you well know, the monster was beyond conventional death, and only at a time where there was nowhere for the beast to come back to could he ever be stopped. So that's it? We come home like nothing happened? Like we never have to worry about Doomsday coming back again? Even Doomsday cannot survive the end of existence. Okay, he's gone. And Motherbox did the right thing by bringing us there, I guess.
Bing, bing.
Uh-oh, looks like she's up to something else.
Superman is enveloped in energy once again by Motherbox.
Her power is drained. This particular Motherbox no longer functions. It appears, though, that she used the last of her reserves to return you to your proper appearance. My clothes are back to normal, and my broken arm feels good as new. The time has come. I must leave now. Okay, but I want you to know something before you go. I realize it took a lot for you to be so involved, but you were a big help, so I just wanted to say thanks. But Waverider has already faded back into the time stream, and I'm left where I started, on Lois's building. Weird. As I stand atop the stairs, I'm reminded once more of the little boy who was afraid of the dark basement. I remember the fears, the uncertainty that hunting Doomsday presented me with. Back then, a kind woman's love gave me the strength I needed to do what needed to be done. That love made me what I am today. And a new love now gives me the strength to push on, to conquer my new fears. Keeping them safe, making them proud. That's what it's all about.
Clark kisses Lois upon his safe return.
Life. Love. The future.
The end. But not really. Doomsday was far too popular and effective a villain for his story to truly end here. And in 1998's follow-up to this story, The Doomsday Wars, his story would continue. It turns out that in the wake of Zero Hour and the timeline resetting, these events occurred again. But this time, Apokolips scientists time traveled to the end of time, the instant after Waverider left. But quickly enough to retrieve Doomsday before the entropy could fully consume him. Brainiac was then able to transfer his consciousness from his dying body into the beast, and Superman would then have to face a Doomsday who was intelligent and could talk and think as well as do everything he was physically capable of before. And if that wasn't enough to deal with, Clark is also trying to save the life of Lana Lang's infant child by transporting it to a hospital during a medical emergency. But that's a story for another day. This time, he was neutralized by keeping him in a state of constant teleportation as an energy pattern, split between 4 JLA teleporters, never resolving it in any one place. And he would stay there until the world had need of him, and in a rather odd turn of events, he is brought into service to fight Imperiex, who is basically DC's Galactus and intended to destroy and restart the universe, during the event Our World's at War in 2001. Through psychic means, they're able to transfer his hatred of Superman onto retargeting the Imperiex drones, and the two fight side by side in the war to save the universe itself. So don't say Doomsday never did anything for you. He would return a few more times in later years, but this was pretty much his end as far as this era was concerned. I find that this story, Hunter-Prey, only makes Superman's first fight with Doomsday even more impressive in retrospect, and I love all Doomsday's new abilities we see in this, especially the poison spikes with the bone wires. I absolutely adore his origin, and while that's probably not how evolution actually works, we can forgive it because it's a comic book, and we can just assume there's a bit more science going on than is specifically explained to us, filling in the gap. There's a few more Doomsday stories in his Year 1 annual issue, but as he doesn't appear himself and it's just Superman telling people at a memorial for his victims various stories he's learned of, I didn't feel a need to cover it. The events shown here tell the important story of his history, as far as I'm concerned. Everyone had wondered about Doomsday's origin in the years since his debut in Death of Superman, and no one felt let down when we finally got this explanation in the rematch. It had to be something special if it could kill Superman, after all. They say a hero is measured by the villains he faces, and Doomsday remains one of the most physically imposing villains in any rogues gallery, excluding outright cosmic beings and the like. He and Superman are, like many great hero-villain pairs, total opposites. If Superman represents ultimate power with only the intention to help and protect others, then Doomsday represents ultimate power with only the intention to harm and destroy others. But you kind of can't blame him. He was born and bred to be the way he is, and he can't help it. Superman got his morals from being raised by loving parents, and all Doomsday's father did was murder him hundreds of thousands of times to create the perfect killing machine. His bombastic and destructive appearance signaled the start of a more dangerous and violent new era in the DC universe, and its effects would touch nearly every major hero book in the line. But with this story, Superman showed that the old heroes would find ways to meet these new challenges head on and prove they were still good enough to get the job done. Well, that'll do it for this episode, so goodbye for now, and as always, thanks for watching.